Okay guys, this is going to be my entry into MegaTimho's competition, where you just basically all do a tour of your hobby space. So this is my man cave. I literally live in a shed and I do all my hobby stuff, so I think we'll start with this end and work our way around to the most important. So to start with, we have the top shelf, which basically is storage for spray paints, scenery brushes. Well, paint brushes are used for scenery. I have a load of acrylic paints up here. There's a box, I don't know if you can see that. There's a box in the back there with more acrylic paints in it. We have all my spray cans here, which I use for spraying my models. Some plastrut parts which I just put there. My trays which I use for spraying my models on. Really handy to have. And then we have this big box of more supplies. So we have things like cotton wool, spare bags for putting stuff in, popsicle sticks, spare drill bits, my hobby drill, more cotton wool, some base materials, more spare base materials which I don't need at the moment, and other odds ends like sponge and models which never got built and used, and probably going to sit there and collect dust. Then we have another tray of to do when I get round to it. So there's lots of fantasy stuff in here which I should be getting around to very soon. Mortar team, some Templar stuff, some historical stuff, some sandpaper and other bits. This bit is where I store my current base materials, like I got my PVA, some liquid proxy, which I use for, I can't explain how to use what that's used for. Basically really good for working with resin, it bonds resin really well. Some sand, mixing tub, some bits of broken up chalk for basing, some thicker aggregate for basing as well, and some stones in a tub, bits of paper clips, screws, elastic band, stapler, paint, mixing tub, Stanley knives, and a protractor set with my brother's towels, weapons magnetized, and a steel rule. Then we come down to the mess. This is my prepping and spraying bench. This is where, sorry about that guys, I got cut off. So basically this is the part, this is the prepping bench. This is where things sit ready to be painted and get primed and other projects being worked on. So we have more containers or bits. There's all my Malifaux stuff in that. Another bit ready for scenery. My old guard codex, which I use for painting references. A tub full of weapon options for my Imperial Guard, which I need to paint. A cleaning tub full of Dettol for scrubbing forge stuff, fairy liquid power spray. My terrain project for the next terrain challenge, another box of bits. A tray with stuff I'm currently building and putting together. I put them all onto trays like this because that way, if I have to stop halfway through, which I tend to, I won't lose all the bits. They're all on this tray safe so they won't go missing. Some more projects I'm working on, my Sentinels, Rhino, Trojan, Medusa, Sentinels, Sword Brethren. There's all sorts on this. It's basically a desk for storing crap on and stuff waiting for me to get round to when I can be asked to do it. Then we move round to my workbench, the part of the side you see from the video. So we have all my paints. There was a lot more, but I haven't brought many paints over the last couple of weeks, and I've started to use them all up now, so I've got to go out and buy more. So we have a lot of the OGW ones, which don't see much love and care anymore, but I just use them here and there when I go use them up. Some of the bases, some of the colours by here, then a lot of my... Okay, before I get cut off again, so these are my paints. So we got loads of the OGW ones. I still use quite a few of these though. It's just they're out of production now, and these are basically, I've used most of these, which I primarily used quite a while ago. So a lot of the foundation paints, like these old ones, these are running out, and these are the finish off armies as well. Those are the new ones, washes, and then my collection of Leho and Army Painter paints, which is slowly expanding as I've got more paints on the way to add to the collection. So this is normally one of these trays, and half that tray full of paints. It's just I haven't had the money to buy more. I usually buy 2 of each, so I know I have enough to get me through 3-4 months. Then we have my 2 water pots. This is primarily for brushes and other things, but that pot there is made for my sculpting tools and modelling tools there. I just end up chucking them both in each, but this one, I put that there because this one, it just ends up getting too full and you just can't find anything. Then we move to my workspace, which you have my wet palette there, the place where I actually paint stuff and where you see everything when I record stuff. So I'm currently working on some mortars, some Ogrins, some Malifaux stuff. Then we move over to this side where this is where I basically just put my finished models till I can get them up to the house. These normally just stay there for a while and then I take them up once I got a big bulk of them done. And then we get to the most important part of the place, the tea making facility. If you're ever gonna, in your basement, you must have a tea making facility on hand. It is the most important part of it. So guys, that's the end of the tour. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Toodle.